Several families at MacDill Air Force Base are complaining about severe health problems because of mold inside their base housing. The problem is so bad there will be a congressional hearing on it this week in Washington. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joins us now live at MacDill with more on this developing story. Jeff.
Yeah, good evening, Jen. The mold problems are so bad, it's some base housing for some families here. Congressman Gus Bilirakis has started an investigation.
From the outside, the home looks beautiful. And at first, Amy Norquist and her family were very happy when they moved into this MacDill base housing last July.
When we first drove through base, it looked really nice. It's very convenient. The kids can ride their bikes to school. They have a lot of friends out in the yard.
Her husband is active duty military, assigned to MacDill, and they have 4 children. But soon after moving in, the children developed health problems.
Like I would hear our 2 oldest coughing through the night in their beds. Our 2 younger children would, they developed like a croupy sounding cough almost all the time and upper respiratory issues.
They found out mold is the problem. These are photos the Norquist took inside their home. They even took a video of their daughter coughing. There was mold in the flooring from a previous leak, mold in the walls, mold in a storage room.
It's been a battle since the moment we discovered the mold.
They called to complain, and the private vendor in charge of maintenance of base housing sent a crew to fix the problem, but it only made things worse.
We discovered that they did not properly contain our belongings when they sanded all the mold off the floors. So all the carpets were exposed, the blinds, none of our kitchen cabinets were covered, like our furniture was not contained correctly.
Amy Norquist wanted to make sure that I know she's not just fighting for her family, she's fighting for all of the families that are suffering from these problems. And I just got off the phone a little while ago with Congressman Gus Bilirakis. He's deeply concerned about this and told me that he will fight to make sure that the families are financially compensated for the money that they've had to put out because they've either had to move or sell furniture or sell clothes. So he's doing the best he can for them. Live at MacDill Air Force Base, Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
They don't need like this. These are their last few moments of life, and they should not go through this.
These pictures show the mold growing inside a home for the elderly in Port Charlotte. The images are from the Parkside Assisted Living Memory Cottage.
NBC2's Jenny Lenzini spoke to the woman who took those pictures. She claims it is worse than just mold.
Yeah, that woman was a former employee of this assisted living home. According to her, the mold was just the most recent of issues. She says there were multiple occasions where residents would be sitting in their feces and urine for long periods of time. Haley Wager thought she was at her dream job.
At the beginning, last year when I started, I thought Parkside was awesome. It was my first CNA job.
Fast forward to March of this year, things took a turn for the worse.
The care for the residents went downhill. The care for the maintenance in the building has went downhill.
She took these pictures this summer of mold on a resident's door.
She was in there like 3-4 weeks with the mold growing insane, where you can actually spot it on the doors.
After reporting it to managers, she claims nothing was done.
They didn't properly clean her furniture. They didn't wipe none of her furniture down. They didn't wash any of her clothing, and her clothing was in a closet that was saturated with mold. They just moved her into another room with another resident.
Even getting sick herself.
So do you think you got sick because of that mold?
I do.
But mold, just the tip of the iceberg of complaints against the Port Charlotte home. We spoke with one woman who says her husband was mistreated at the facility.
He was covered in dried mucus throughout his hair, his face, and he was wet head to toe. They had to clean him up.
They're left in their urine, they're left in their feces. They're not turned, so they start getting bed sores.
Although no longer an employee, Wager's still looking to help those residents.
I love you. I love you. I hope Parkside gets into shape. I hope you're doing good. I miss you.
Jenny Lenzini reporting. NBC2 reached out to Parkside's executive director, who did not respond. They did post a statement on Facebook admitting to the mold in a resident's room, but says no one got sick because of it.
Uprooted from their home because of toxic mold. It's a more common problem than you may realize. Texas has the highest mold counts in the country. Houston, the most homes with mold. You may be shocked that it's a four-legged friend helping sniff out serious problems. Bittersweet smiles from this family of 6 in Cyprus. They're finally feeling better after suffering for almost a decade, but they had to move out of their home during remediation for toxic mold removal.
So in here, the dog is black.
Ashley was the first to experience odd symptoms.
I started having like severe rashes on my face, on my neck. Our daughter started having like bouts of rage, she started like having OCD tendencies.
It only worsened from there to autistic-like behavior, to autoimmune issues, seizures, verbal tics, serious neurological symptoms, and severe stomach pain. And the list goes on and on. What was growing between the walls of their dream home is to blame.
We built the house and moved in July of 2013. It was about 2 years after that we started noticing symptoms. There was actually boards that were placed in the walls that were moldy. Our son's bedroom had the whole seal plate behind his wall actually was covered in mold. And I would say every bathroom in our house had mold in the wall cavities. The remediation company said that more than likely it was due to humidity levels too high in the home, which a lot of that had to do with the HVAC being just very poorly designed.
They were suspicious it was mold, but heard many mold tests falsely come back okay. So that's when they brought in the certified mold sniffing dog Zia. She's a type of hunting dog called a Drathar.
Good girl. The easiest way for her to get it is going to be like the biggest hole in the wall, which is where the electrical outlet is. So if you were to take the plate off of there and you just have the outlet on the wall, there's a big hole around that. So if there's any odor of mold in the wall, it's going to be strongest source is what we call it. It's what she's trained to get to. So the dog's accuracy is over 90%. So any of us would go to Vegas, and if I said like, hey, this machine pays out 90% of the time, like give me my wallet and I'm going to put money in there. So the dog's reliability is far superior than anything else. Show me. Show me.
Lane Simmons is Zia's handler, working together to fight the crime of mold. Not typical mildew, but toxic mold that can shred your health.
Good girl.
Experts say the prevalence of mold in Houston is outrageous.
One of the main number you'll hear is like 80%, 80+%. I personally think it's higher than that. I think it's 90% plus.
Zia's owner and founder of the company Mold Dog Knows is proud of this duo. It all started with a lot of dog training.
1,000 hours of training. Our dog was certified at the Florida Canine Academy, and then we actually ended up, which was a blessing and a surprise, hiring a former law enforcement canine handler for narcotics. So he knows what he's doing, and he has really honed her skill and brought her to the level of where she is now. And we also took it a step further, getting him certified as a mold technician in the state of Texas, which is required. So we have a really powerful team.
Susan battled mold toxicity herself for years, which is why she's helping others now. Doctor's visits and moving out of the house for a while is hard on the entire family.
It's affected me in many ways. I've had many problems from it. Most of it's internal and you can't see.
It has given me a lot of rashes, and I can't see my friends as much.
It make you feel yucky? Yeah. How are you feeling now that you're out of the house?
Good.
Feel better? Good.
When there's serious mold illness, experts say most belongings have to be either tossed out or thoroughly cleaned with a specific protocol. Mold spores build up on them and can continue to harm sufferers.
In addition to, losing all your material possessions, dealing with the mental aspect of it and the stress with the kids and disrupting their lives. Then, the extreme financial burden, draining financial savings.
It's tough, but they're anxious for the day they're fully healed and can put toxic mold behind them. Join us today online at 12:30 for Lunch for the Soul. We'll share so much advice about what to do if you suspect mold, and then we'll share tips online to help keep it out of your home in the first place. Join us at fox26houston.com or our Fox 26 Facebook for this valuable info.
Well, And also they had a dog as
Can you believe that the dog does that? So the dog actually lives in Dallas, but there are so many clients in Houston. They come to Houston almost more than they see homes in Dallas because of all of our major flooding and hurricanes and flooded out houses.
Yeah.
It's a very real problem here.
Thank God for dogs. We say that
And
all the time.
it can actually be deadly, so it's important